Well, Jeff, a championship week Monday practice. Not every team gets to have these. What does it mean to be here today, this week?
It's awesome. We understand it. We know how special it is, and there's only a few of us getting to do this. And what a beautiful day! Very unlike last week. I mean, it was gorgeous outside, and it was a great San Antonio weather. We've been having that in northern weather lately. Too much rain, too much cold, too much wind for me. There's a reason I stay in Texas, other than my family and my friends. I like the weather down here, so it's nice to get some San Antonio weather back.
What's the vibe like with the guys this week? Frank was just telling us, felt like UTEP game was almost a loss the way they played.
Yeah, that's how we looked today. I mean, we treated it that way, and it was because we got whipped up front on both sides of the ball. Very proud of our kids, how they battled back. They won the game, and man, much credit to them for doing that. But we did not physically win the game. We kind of got handled up front, and that's very disappointing for us.
In that sense, is the mentality and approach kind of similar to this time last year when you guys were actually coming off a loss, getting ready for the championship game?
It's hard to say. I mean, there could be some similarities in that, I would imagine. But I got to give UTEP a lot of credit. I mean, I think they had a great game plan and they executed it very well. They did a lot of stuff differently. Defensively, they changed up a lot of their stuff, and so credit to them for doing that. And I would give Coach Demmel more of the credit than anything else.
This is the second time, though, in second year in a row that you guys are gearing up for a championship kind of game. Is anything different about the process compared to a year ago?
I would say probably the injury situation is way different. We've just been in a constant shuffle the entire season. I'm sure North Texas has injuries as well, but we've got 8 starters now. Guys that we were counting on and play that we've just keep shuffling, and that's not even to mention the guys the backups that have been out, just freak stuff. So we say it all the time: healthy teams don't win championships, though tough ones do. But to answer your question, that's probably the biggest difference. And we're just not as veteran of a team. We had 21 starters returning, and most of them were all playing in this game. This year's team is, a mixture of that team from last year and a bunch of new kids and a lot of injuries. So I guess all that would be the answer to your question.
Along those lines, what is the injury update with Brendan Brady and Gavin Sharp in particular?
Both of them will not play this week.
On the injury to Gavin, everybody knew immediately that was a bad injury. I saw you go around, a lot of the players were on their knees. I saw you go around and talk to these players. What is a message that coach can say to a player in that moment when the emotions are going all that and you still got a game to play?
Yeah, it's very complicated, but yet it's very simple. What would Gavin want them to do, right? I can promise you, Gavin is going to feel a lot better when this game's over if we go finish this thing correctly and come back and win the ball game. And immediately, when I spoke to Gavin, I FaceTimed Gavin after the game once he got released from the hospital, and that was the first. He started crying, and he was just so happy that the kids came back and won the game. And I believe a lot of that was because of Gavin and Brendan. Those kids just are mentally tough, man. I've seen it. Like G.J. Kinney texted me immediately. I've only seen one injury like this in my career. It was 2006. Cody Lee. We were playing Texarkana, Liberty Ilo, and G.J. was my quarterback, and our all-state guard, just like Gavin's. It was that gruesome. And G.J. texted me as soon as the game was over. He's like, I thought it was going to be we lost that game because our kids couldn't come back. G.J. fumbled on the very next play because he was balling so hard. And very similar to Frank, fumbling at UAB because he just had tears in his eyes, right? So haven't seen that happen very much, but I have seen it. I regret I was such a young head coach back then that I did not understand the significance of the emotional drain, and I wish I would have been there for my kids more. So I've seen 3 of those this year now with JT, Gavin, and now Brendan later in that game, where you can see immediately it's like really bad.
Jeff, just one more follow-up on that. A lot of fans have reached out. How's Gavin doing? He was released from the hospital?
Great spirits, and both kids were at practice today. Obviously, Gavin's on a scooter, and Brendan's in a brace, but they were out there. At halftime, when I gave my unique speech, I did not know Brendan was right behind me. I thought he was at the hospital. And I said, I can promise you right now, if Brendan Brady were here, I know what he'd say. And about that time, he stood up, came right in behind me, and just started giving him the same speech I was giving him. And one of my players, I'll leave unnamed, said, "Coach, we know you plan all your stuff. But you don't, that stuff just doesn't happen." I said, "I'm the luckiest human in the world that I did not know Brendan Bray was standing right, but I did not plan that. It just happened that way." So it was a unique speech, but Brendan Brady was part of that speech. So I'm letting some of the locker room stuff out right now.
Jeff, with the running back position specifically, you're a little thin at that spot. What's the plan this week?
You know, honestly, JJ, we were thin since the spring.
Yeah. Yeah.
We lost 3 backs in the spring.
Yeah.
So that was not good.
No.
And then after losing Sincere, so we've really been thin all year. Then we lost Trey Smith, and Brendan and Kavorian have just been the staples back there. We'll see who the 2 back's going to be this week. Kavorian will obviously start, and we got to make some decisions on who that next back's going to be.
You guys have been so good, Coach, dating back to last year, winning these games late in the final couple of minutes and in overtime. What are the traits of a team that can do that so well?
Belief is first. You got to believe. I mean, you got to have supreme confidence at all time. You got to have swag, and that's one of those things we talk about all the time, is the ability to self-reflect and be honest with ourselves when we make mistakes, admit them, but never lose our swag, never lose that belief, never lose your confidence. And that's where it starts. Always having a great quarterback is second, and we've got that. And we got a bunch of really good pieces around it. We've got a great receiving core. And it's not, everybody thinks it's the offense. Let's think again. North Texas game and this game, we did not go get the lead when we should have. We had to punt the ball away. Lucas, great sky kick. Pinned them up. Defense gets them off the field. Then we go do it. If you don't, if it's a total team game, it's not just the offense. The special teams makes their plays. The defense makes their plays to put the offense in a position to go make that. And that's what everybody remembers. Everybody remembers the offense. They forget the plays. Like, for example, the play of the game might have been 24-0, 4th down on a long one, and we motion Oscar in at quarterback, and we go quarterback sneak, and we barely get it. And then we go smoke and go on the very next play for a touchdown, and now it's 24-7. But if we don't make that first down, they got the ball 24-0 on our minus whatever that was. Then y'all are all going, "Why are they going for him?"
Jeff, is Trey Smith any closer to being able to return after a couple weeks off the ankle?
He'll be one of those guys we'll be deciding about for the game Friday.
And when you look at Kavorian, a young player in this position, how much of a workload is he ready to carry at this point in the season? How do you feel about where he's at?
Oh, the ball's not heavy. He'll be fine.
You've been trying to get some people rallied in terms of the attendance at the Alamo Dome this week. What's the response you've seen to that process, or how's that been going?
I just see, I guess my buddy Frank always puts that on Twitter, like that, his nice little graphic. I don't know where he gets that from, the light blue and the dark blue, so I kind of keep up with Frank. I just tag team off of him and put my message out. I hope the whole thing, I think blue is what we want it to be, blue, right?
So, yeah.
I want it all to be blue. Why not? I mean, why not? I mean, we're top 25 in the country. Somebody put a graphic out. I think we've won like the 5th most games in the country in the last 2 years. It's something stupid, right? I mean, we've got great kids. It's a great environment. It's beautiful in there. I mean, yeah. And we need y'all. We need the help. I know it's a nationally televised game, but we need the support. And it's good for everybody. And it's fun. I guarantee you, if you're a new fan and you have not jumped on yet, come watch our kids play one time, and you'll be hooked. You'll be hooked.
Do you have any ideas on how to keep pushing that this week, or how to get in front of more people?
I can only do what I can do. It's dangerous for me to go down this territory, because if we go out there and lay an egg, I know I'm gonna get blasted on Twitter. But I try to stay out of that lane a lot. But this week I'm going all in. We need it. We caused 8 penalties Saturday, and they can say music all they want to. Everyone on music, that's a bunch of passionate fans. And I made the analogy Saturday. I stand by it. Our team's a lot like our fan base in our city. We're some stubborn mules now. We're some stubborn kids and some stubborn coaches, and our city's kind of that way. We've always kind of been overlooked, and we always want more. We don't quite ever get it here in the city. We want, and well, we got something really beautiful. It's ours. It's ours. It's not like we're hoping for an NFL team, or we're hoping for this. And we've got something really unique right here, and it needs to become ours.
What have you seen, or do you want to see from the rest of the department and from the university to kind of push that effort this week and make it happen?
Dr. Compost will handle that, and our marketing department, Miss Betty. I'm sure they've got a million ideas over there, and I'm sure they're working their tails off.
Jeff, what does it mean to be able to have conference championship games in San Antonio in back-to-back seasons? That's pretty rare.
I would like to know how often it's been done. I bet you and Greg can find out for me pretty quick. It can't be too much. It just can't be. So there's only, 10 of us, so there's only 10 championship games this weekend anyway, I guess. I literally, I live life about like that. I'm a simpleton, right? So I don't even know much till y'all tell me. I didn't even know we were playing North Texas till y'all told me. I'm not kidding. I had nobody keeping up with anything. I was trying to beat UTEP.
Does it? I mean, just on this whole thing, Trinity hosted 2 division playoff games in town, had a chance for a third. UIW is hosting a playoff game. You guys are hosting a championship game. Does this city just not get the fact that it was just like, man, there is some really good college football in the city of San Antonio right now? Maybe nowhere else in the country that's doing what we're doing right now.
I don't know. I really couldn't answer that, but I know I'm thrilled for Trinity and UIW. I know they do it right. And I know we're not supposed to brag on it because we're competing for kids and stuff, but I don't care. It's fantastic what those guys have done, and we're rooting for them. What's good for all 3 of us is good for San Antonio.
And on that, Coach Kenny said he believes they have a draw. Like, he really believes they have a draw where they can wind up in Frisco playing for the title. What does that mean to you that he's done as well as he's done in his first year there?
I told him, by gosh, he better. I put my name on him, right? So I'm thrilled for him. We are in communication, all the time. And I've said it many times before. He's like my own son, and my son's getting married this spring, and GJ's in the wedding. So I've had a few people call on him this week, and I've said the same thing about, you're not going to find anything negative on GJ Kenny. He's as good a human being as there is in the world. He's great with players. Those players love GJ Kenny. He's always been that way. He was that way for me as my quarterback. My knuckleheads, he had a way. I mean, he had them over at their house. They spent the night with him. He's just unique in that way.
Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate it.